Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is September 12th, 2025. What a week it's been. Everyone's, of course, talking about Charlie Kirk and the assassination. They've caught the suspect. He turned himself into his family, a young conservative guy from Mormon family, MAGA. Oh, I don't know what's going on, but I've heard many things on both sides of the aisle. And I do agree, of course, no violence. We can't have political violence. Isn't it ironic, though, that all the people who are saying this the loudest are the people in politics who are probably like, no political violence, And I do think, I mean, I'm not for violence at all. I'm just looking at history. Of course, the American Revolution was a very violent affair. The French Revolution certainly was very violent. Black Panthers were very violent. You know, this whole thing about nonviolence, I guess, there's Gandhi, there's Martin Luther King, there's Marianne Williamson. I don't know. She wrote Return to Love. I love that book. But I commented on her. I said, I get Gandhi and I get Martin Luther King, but I don't want to be like the nation of India, and I'm not saying we need to take up arms by any stretch of the imagination, but I just don't want to be like that. I wish we had people that were, I don't know, who achieved something without violence besides Gandhi and Martin Luther King. Gandhi, okay, they got a democracy, and Martin Luther King was assassinated. At least he died from violence, so I don't know. Anyway, but wow. A lot of tension going on right now. Trump is still, I think he's finally doing Nashville with these National Guards and cleaning up the city. Again, I don't know what happened. I really don't. I used to live in Palm Springs before I went overseas. When I came back overseas and I would go into LA, there was just homeless camps. I have no idea why or what happened. I kept thinking, and then there was all of this money that we gave to the mayor of Los Angeles because she was going to declare a state of emergency, and then nothing happened. The homeless people were not homeless anymore. They're still homeless. So I don't know where the money went to. I imagine into people's pockets, and therein I think lies the problem. Right there is the corruption. And of course, every country's corrupt, and the United States has been very corrupt. I suspect my father, as a businessman, was pretty corrupt, but I don't know. He was prosecuted, but never indicted, never convicted. They didn't find any evidence. But old school corruption used to be kind of like you would skim a little off the top, but you would kind of leave some for the people, for your country. I feel like now people are just kind of greedy and taking everything, and nobody cares. That's another issue. I don't know if you heard that motorcycle. I am so done with these loud cars and motorcycle. What is going on, guys, with your loudness? I guess I'm just getting to be an old fuddy-duddy, but it's do you really need to have a vroom, vroom on your bicycle? I had one of those things when I was a kid. Makes a real sound. It's I was 10 years old. I mean, come on. But anyway, so yeah, interesting week. I've been following some of the astrologers, such as Pam Gregory and Heather Ensworth, and I forgot the name of the guy on the astrology podcast. I want to say Austin Kopic. And the mid-decade, they called this the mid-decade shite show, and with the astrology. And So I was kind of expecting, in fact, I was expecting things worth. Apparently, 2026 is supposed to be like some enlightened astrology, but it does. I don't believe in the astrology like for myself. Like I don't follow my own chart. Like sometimes transients, like I've got the Mars and something, and it doesn't, it doesn't really affect my life too much. But with the global astrology, I feel like there might be something to this. So I kind of follow the politics, and of course Martin Armstrong with his computer Socrates is predicting World War III. So, but the astrology did say it was going to be this kind of chaos, and they also said things are going to break down into smaller. And so I think I've said 1,000 times, focus on your community, focus on your friendships, focus on your loved ones, helping out. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. In other news, I think I'm getting my novel published in March, so I'm trying to work with Ars Notoria to try to get a podcast going, doing some interviews and getting that going for them. So a lot of work. I've got my goals. I kind of finally said, okay, this is what I'd like to get done by the end of my life. And I'm not sure podcast is one of them, but I'm going to look into it and see if I can do that. And who knows, maybe that'll be a new career for me. I don't know. I wish I could be Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens. Now, he had it good, except for, getting busted. Or Dame Edna. I like these guys that create, like, these wacky characters that are funny. Barry Humphries was Dame Edna. Of course, they both passed away, but I like that. So, wish I could create a character. Maybe I'll write one of that as one of my bucket list goals. But yeah, I think that's it for this week. It is Saturday, and that's it. Arrivederci.